Alright, here we go. We are going to talk about central angles and arc measures. Nothing fairly difficult. Depends on how well you see something sometimes. But today you are going to identify central angles and arcs. I'm saying here minor arcs, major arcs, and even semicircles. And you're going to find an arc length. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, a central angle is an angle with its vertex at the center. Oh, wait, no, that's not what I meant to do. At the center of the circle, and its two sides are radii. That's the plural for radius. Anyways, the sum of all central angles in a circle is 360 degrees. Okay, so that just says that if you had all the central angles, they would add up to 360 degrees. Example, if you look there, and you said angle ABC, which would be this right here, that's 84 degrees, that's a central angle. Now, keep in mind that this central angle, and let's say this one right here, plus this one, they would add up to 360. That's what they're trying to say there. So, coming back, the degree of the arc, now the arc is, again, this part right here. The degree of the arc is formed by the endpoints of the central angle and is equal to the degree of the central angle. So, if this angle is 84 degrees, then this arc is 84 degrees. Okay? So, arc AC, notice how that's a minor arc using only two letters, is 84 degrees. Now, ADC, which means ADC goes from here around, because it goes from A to D to C, that would be 276 degrees. Now, how did I get that? I said 84, 360 minus 84 to get 276. Y'all thought I was going to do number one, reduced. But I didn't. Okay, so let's look at number one. All right. So, obviously they tell us arc JK. Remember, this is a minor arc. That's an angle. And here you see three letters. When you see this symbol, again, remember that curved symbol means it's an arc. So it means it's dealing with this area here. But if you see this, that's an angle. So kind of keep that in mind. Make sure you know the difference between those two. Because with the angles, we are still going to use three letters. But there is a difference between minor and major arcs. This tells me this should be less than 180, but this one right here tells me it should be more than 180 because it's considered a major arc. Okay, now keep in mind that those letters are given to you for a reason. Like that one says JKM, that means I'm going to go J, K, all the way to M, like that. It goes in that order. Okay, so I go like this. Okay, so this is 21 degrees central angle, then that means the arc is 21 degrees. Okay, angle JNM, if this is 21 degrees and this is 180, remember any straight line you see is going to be 180, like that. So if I say 29 or 180 minus 21, I get 159 degrees. So this angle JNM, that right there, is 159 degrees. Okay, so now other things we can remember here. This is 21 because that's an opposite vertical angle. This is 159, and that pretty much can find anything from there. Okay, KL, 159 degrees. It's more fun when you do it with the little sounds. Okay, JKM, again, JK and M, so that's from here all the way around. That means I would add 42 or 21 plus 21 to 159, and I would get 201 degrees. So notice that's a major arc. It's greater than 180 degrees. MKL, okay, so now here's where you got to be careful. MKL, you go in order of these letters. That means from here, M, 2K, 2L. Okay, so you can add 159, 159, and 21, or you could just say 360 minus 21 and get 339 degrees. Okay, fairly simple. It's one of those you practice with. It gets fairly easy. So you should be able to do like problems like say 2, 3, and 4 very similar. Again, keep in mind that when you see the little square, that means 90 degrees, and you can kind of go from there. And if you have questions, feel free to ask in, say, through Google Classroom or Remind. All right, so what do we do when we see something like this? Well, so a couple of different ways you could do this, and then probably the easiest way is to realize that this right here is 180 degrees. So that means all of this right here adds up to 180. So 15x minus 26 plus 26 equals 180. Okay, so if those two would cancel out, that leaves me 15x is equal to 180. So x here is equal to 12 if you divide. Okay, and again, y'all should know how to do that. That's solving simple equations, and y'all have to be able to remember that kind of simple algebra. Again, next year you're in Algebra 2, and you want to make sure you can solve questions like that fairly easily. What about number 7? Okay, let's see here. Again, these two are opposite of each other, so opposite angles are congruent. So 10x minus 22 is equal to 8x plus 12. Variables to the left, numbers to the right. So that's minus 8x, which would be 4x, plus 22, which is, excuse me, 34. Why did I say 8x is, oy vey. You know what, this is what happens when you get to, you're doing something a little too early. I was like, wait a sec, that's not 2x. I have no idea why I was thinking 4x. I need to be more awake. Anyways, divide by 2 and you get x is equal to 17. And that's all you need to do. Now, well, that's not all you need to do, because if you look off to the side here, it tells you, yes, x is 17. Now, find arc AD. That's horrible. Let's try that again. Arc AD. So, here to here. So I would put the 17 here and say 17 times 8, and then add 12, and you should get 148 degrees. Okay? And then obviously, if that's 148, I can subtract that and get this is 32, 148, 148, and 32. So let's say here the measurement of CD is 32 degrees. And then the measurement of BDC, B to D to C, that means all of this right here should be 212 degrees. Okay, remember, you go in orders, whichever direction. So if it goes like B to D to C, that's what I had to do. Okay, and again, if y'all have questions, feel free to ask. All right, so now we get to the arc length formula, where length is equal to x over 360 times the circumference. Okay, now again, x will be the degree measure, and that's on your paper, and circumference is going to be the circumference of a circle. So again, for circumference, you can use 2 pi r, or you can use pi times diameter. Okay, whichever one works. All right, so let's look at a problem like number 10. All right, EB is 15. So that says from here to here is 15. Find the length of CD. So they want us to find this length of CD. First off, then let's find out what CD is. So if this is 68 degrees, and we know this right here would be 180, I can say 180 minus 68 and get 112. Okay, so this is right here 112 degrees. So, find the length of CD. I want to find this length from here to here. And that means I would say 112 degrees over 360 times, I have the radius, so I'm going to use 2 pi r, in this case 15. And so that's what I would type in. And again, guys, if you put 3.14, you might be off by a little bit, but not much. But I would type in 112 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 15, and you should get approximately, or something close to 29.32, what is this, centimeters. And again, that's just finding the arc length. Arc length is like, okay, so there's a whole circumference. Arc length is part of a circumference. That's really all that is. So one more example. VS is 12. So that means from here to here. So that's a diameter. So I'm going to keep that in mind because I don't want to really write that. Find the length of UT. Okay. So, ooh, this one gets a little bit more interesting. Aha! All right. So here's how I do that. Here's a, well, I know this is a diameter. So I could say 180 minus 127. That's going to give me, what is that going to give me? 53 degrees. Okay, so that should be 53 degrees right there. That's 90. So if I say 90 plus 53, I get 143, and subtract from 180, I get 37 degrees. So this right here is 37 degrees, so that's this right here. So arc length would be 37 over 360 times pi. Since I have the diameter, I'm just going to say pi times diameter times 12. So 37 divided by 360 times pi times 12. And you get approximately 3.87 and meters. And that's really all that is to it. Okay, guys? So, for my classes, okay, CP. I would like you to finish out all odds throughout the whole thing. So that means in these 4 pages, pages 1 through 4, you are to do all the odds. That's 1, 3, 5, 7, and I've done quite a few of those. 9, 11, 13, 15. Okay, plus 1, 3, 5, 7, 8. I changed my mind. You can do the odds on pages 3 and 4. And that's it. So for the CP classes, don't worry about any of the other, those first 2 pages. Just look at the problems I did, and if you have more questions, I can answer more. But do the odds on the last 2 pages. For the pre-AP, I want you to do all the problems 1 through 14 on pages 3 and 4. So again, you don't need to worry about doing any more other problems on pages 1 and 2, but do the problems on pages 3 and 4. Okay? And again, guys, you got to do this if you want full credit. So, it's not just copy the videos and do the notes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Y'all take care. Have a great day.